Cool. Good. Awesome, man. Hey, look, Kristian, thanks for jumping on today, mate. I super appreciate it. I just really wanted to talk about and document, your progress. You joined the program only like 5-6 weeks ago, and especially in like the first 30 days, you had a massive month, a huge increase with your business. And more than anything, as I say, I just want to kind of celebrate that with you, but also love to hear, for other people's benefit, kind of what transpired. But before we jump into that, kind of the last 30 days, if you could just kind of explain a bit about your business and perhaps how it started and where it got to, before we started working together, that would be really helpful, man.
Yeah, sure. No, thanks for having me on this. Yeah, we started. I mean, I'm Christian Terry, the owner of, I guess, Well Drawn Greeting Cards. We started roughly about 8 years ago now. I think when I say we, it was just me at the time, just literally just drawing greeting cards of friends and family, just doing cartoons. Then it kind of escalated to friends of friends and friends of friends of friends, to the point where like I started getting quite inundated, and I always had a full-time job. So it's kind of one of those things that I had to do after hours or just quite late at night into the night. Then I set up a website in 2015. Then I got a stockist in about 2016, but it was literally still just, just kind of just doing cards, to a point where I think we have about 70, 72, 73 stockists now. Maybe one today, maybe got a new one today. And we've sold over 80,000 cards. Most of that was in the last couple of years as well. So it was really, really slow and it was massive. It's always been kind of a hobby thing. The last 2 to 3 years has been quite intense. And yeah, I think we had a record year last year. And then I started looking at this a lot more seriously. Like maybe I could do this full time. Maybe it could be something that goes from a hobby to like an actual dream where can support the family that we have. So yeah, obviously like looking at your expertise and really, really like since talking to you has really changed the business immensely. Like I think especially, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about this further, but the clarity of goals and just having the accountability and the expertise and knowledge to execute those ideas that I have, because I'm always full of ideas, but I struggle to have that focus. And the business is running really well, but I know that it could do potentially even better, especially like we had recently. I think you saw like when we started, really bad conversion rates, high sessions, but little conversions. The ads started to become ineffective in a way. So you've really helped transform, I guess, every part of the business, to be honest. Um, so that's a bit about us.
Yeah, amazing, man. And as I say, it's just been incredible to see you sort of come in and just really like take information, absorb it, and just put it into action, quickly. And like what I kind of always say about successful people in whatever, but especially business, is that ability to absorb the information or get the information that they need and to act and take action quickly to literally just keep moving forward, whether it's the right path or whether they learn from that and, pivot is all important. And you've basically just shown that and executed so quickly. And so whilst I'm really impressed and pleased, I'm actually not surprised at the progress you made in that first kind of 30 days. Like it was almost just like I knew that was what was going to happen in a humbling kind of way, but more so that you had the right attributes, you had a successful business. We just basically identified that you were doing some things manually that you'd been just, that's all you'd kind of known, and saying, well, look, let's just shift a couple of things here. Let's look at this opportunity. Let's tweak a couple of things here, and that kind of suddenly frees you up and opens up the floodgates for the sales to come in. And so it's often those simple things that is the case, which is amazing that it's come off the way it has with you. So, and so what stage, what did you hit in December? And then what did you end up in our first month together in Jan? What were those numbers again?
I think I'll just go back to December. So if I
Mm.
go to December till December 31st, we probably had about 7K, which is, I guess to me, it's a really disappointing Christmas.
Yeah.
I think the year before that was about 20K. So whilst we
Yeah.
had a record year, ironically, Christmas is usually really good for greeting cards.
Mm.
Ironically,
Mm.
we had a really bad year. And I think that we had our lowest ever conversion, which was like bordering on 2%. I think it was like 2.5 or something, possibly worse because we have to have wholesale in that as well. The ads were just dismal. And I think it really made me think like, I'm going to double down instead of kind of like, I guess instead of thinking about the losses, just saying, look, I really need some expert help because I've got it to a point where I don't even know, I didn't really know what to do at that stage, like how to fix it. And I knew that it needed more than just making a better Facebook ad or something.
Mm.
So I think looking at literally every aspect of the business and tweaking, and like you've taught me about, like, pulling the levers and pulling the right levers and looking at things and making those decisions based on a lot of data instead of just emotional. I'm very, very emotional kind of business person, I guess.
I think
it's
business
still,
owners are, to be really honest. Yeah,
yeah.
it's their baby, you know.
It's still very much like I always stress. I have a full time job. I have a very intense, I guess, full time job, and this has always been a side job. But looking at this very closely, I knew that it had something there. When I'm like, look, if I just tweak a few things, maybe it could be a full time thing next year. And I know that, like, to kind of double down on my time on the website, on admin, all the operation stuff, that could potentially shift going into, I guess, this year. And the results are already like speak for themselves.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think,
amazing.
yeah, I think we've already got like 45K in the last 30 days.
30 days, 45K. Wow. I didn't even know it was
Yeah,
that high.
yeah. So 45K. I'll compare it to, let's just say, quarter 4 in 2022. So it's
Yeah,
already up. This whole 30 days is already up 42% over the whole of last quarter,
yeah,
essentially quarter 4 2022, which is crazy.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I think
So
as
in like,
well.
so month to
Yeah,
month, that was like, yeah, quiet December, but it was still like 7, 8K. And
mm,
you did 30 in Jan, wasn't it? 30 about that?
yeah, exactly. I think yeah, 30 in Jan, and I think we're on track. I'll just go to Jan. So Jan 1st to 30. Yeah, so 30, 31, we were like really, it was one of those funny things as well where for some reason, I just wanted 30K in 30 days. And it was like the 29th or the 30th or something. I knew I had the 31st up my sleeve.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay. So, and then it weirdly got to 31 on the 31st. And we had literally like the biggest wholesale order we've ever had. I don't know how, but I think it was also like one of the email marketing campaigns that I've never done before. Um,
Yeah.
so we had like a 5K wholesale order come in. We had a whole bunch of wholesale orders come in and just get us over that 31 in 31 days, essentially. So that was
Amazing.
pretty crazy how it just happened right at the last thing. Um, so that was a huge win for us, I guess, because I mean, we had a really good Valentine's Day last year, but that was because we had a really good Instagram that was functioning well, Facebook that was functioning well. Everything got, I think I told you, like everything, yeah, we were
Mm,
hacked, lost
mm.
everything. So starting from scratch, starting from nothing again, was pretty disheartening to get to this stage where we are now. Yeah, I couldn't be happier. Like it's
Yeah.
just, it's been the
Yeah.
best, to be honest.
That's it's great to hear, man, and you know that's where I get so much joy helping, just great people and great businesses like you, and as I say, like you do the work. My job is to really just open up for you to see the opportunities and give you the tools and the confidence to kind of do it. And if that's that's all it takes, man, most of the time. So I mean, you've done the work and you deserve the reward as well. And I just this business could be 100K a month easy. Like I have no doubt about that, in a very reasonable period of time. Obviously got some work within the systems and stuff like that, but I can just sort of seeing that's where it's kind of going in the not too distant future, which is incredible, right? Like you've built something already, and yet there's so much opportunity still out there. So it's yeah, mate. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, that's a
congratulations
good
with
point.
that, really. Yeah,
No, thank you.
massive.
I think that's the funniest thing. It's like, yeah, cool. It goes 30K, which for some reason I'm actually kind of disappointed in a way, in a funny way, because I know that like we've only touched like Australia. We haven't touched New Zealand, Singapore, Dubai, all these other places or London, US at all. So it's like the possibilities for me, it's really exciting. And yeah, you've given me a huge amount of confidence and ability and knowledge to actually kind of, yeah, have confidence to actually explore those things, which
Yeah.
yeah, I was just thinking really small. I was thinking like, oh yeah, we're doing well in Melbourne, for
Yeah.
instance. But it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, Melbourne, and surprisingly enough, Melbourne supplies most of that revenue as well, probably like 20K of that revenue.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like that's crazy. Like there's only 5 million or something in Melbourne. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. No, huge potential still to go, man. It's very, very exciting. And look, so just to kind of wrap up our chat, I'd love you just to kind of share, yeah, kind of like your really key kind of takeaways, I guess from the last kind of 30 days of working together,
Mhm.
and what you might say to people who are, at the stage where you were kind of 30 days ago prior to jumping into the program, and potentially any words of advice you might have for them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I've got a lot of things to say. It's all been incredibly positive. I think one of the biggest things was actually taking the leap. I'm pretty risk adverse. I don't like to spend anything. I don't like to do anything. So taking the leap and actually like and reaching out and asking for actual help. I am not one, and I know that a lot of people maybe aren't wanting to reach out to help, or they're too scared, or maybe they don't know who to reach out to. I think knowing that you're actually such a helpful person, you seem to know everything about everything. I think that's one of the most amazing. Like you can just calculate something so quickly, or help out with Facebook, or help out with like a campaign. Having that person that's knowledgeable, but also like friendly and approachable, and can actually like coach you through this scenario. It's something that I've just like I've always wanted. I've never known that I've wanted, to be honest. And I think that everyone else out there, I guess, should be also be thinking the same way. Like there's help out there, and it's good help. And by following some literally like steps, literally like a checklist, I didn't even know I needed a checklist. And I have a checklist which provides clarity, it provides solutions. You literally just follow a checklist and get expert advice on that checklist, and you can easily do it. I think like, yeah, like the product is its own thing, but there are really common basic steps that I wasn't doing. Like e-commerce, like my digital marketing was failing. Didn't have newsletters, didn't even have like any type of email system that was working, or capturing repeat business. It was just pure kind of hope
Mm,
for the best.
mm.
And it really kind of streamlined everything across the board, to be honest, operationally, like marketing, digital sales.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that, because I mean that's literally the whole purpose of what we do, is just to provide that roadmap. I literally believe that with a validated product, like success becomes inevitable if you have the confidence, of the persistence and the conviction, and then coupled with the roadmap of what actually works, right? So that's why we created this program, was literally to do that. And as I said, nothing gives me more fulfillment than seeing it in action, and you guys implementing it and just crushing it. To be seriously honest with you, like that's why I do what I do. And working with great people like you is just, yeah, the best, mate. I live a good life. So um
Likewise, likewise. It's helped us, especially with all the medical, with all the things that we have in our lives. It's really helped us in every single way. Like literally the power of sales, or the power of money. It's really helped us. So
yeah,
I couldn't thank you enough. But also like the way that you've gone about things as well. Like you're always quite omnipresent to actually provide assistance. I think that's a really key factor as well.
awesome. Look, I appreciate it, Kristian. You're a superstar, mate, and we've got more work to do to keep you continuing growing. But it's always good to stop and celebrate the milestones. So I appreciate you sharing that, man. Thank you so much for being here.
No, no, thank you. Always good to have the best mentor in the biz.
I love it,
That's
mate.
helped me.
Thank you.
Thanks.